It's officially 3:33 p.m. and we are off the clock.
It's 3:33 p.m. and we're officially off the clock.
Cheers.
We made it, ladies, to episode 3.
Episode 3.
That is wild.
3 in this thing.
I cannot believe it. We are getting it done.
Yes.
Look at
It's
us.
happening.
First 2 episodes were amazing.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I surprised myself. You guys surprised me. Like,
Definitely.
just in between 1 and 2, like how much more comfortable we seem
Yeah.
speaking
Yeah.
to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a vibe.
It's
All
definitely
right.
that.
Okay, so today, you guys, we want to go over some of the highs and lows, or just really speak to the highs and lows of entrepreneurship as a whole. Like, we all get in this thing for one reason or another. Some say that being an entrepreneur is one of the loneliest jobs on the planet. But there are also others that will tell you it's the most rewarding and the one that can create unlimited freedom for you too. So, what do you really think it is?
Yeah, ultimate freedom for sure. I mean, like you said, we all get into it for one thing or another. Some people get into it because they're tired of their, mundane schedules, or feel like, they need supplemental income, as a side hustle or whatever, or they just literally have a passion for being their own boss and being on their own and making sometimes maybe a legacy for themselves and their families.
Damn.
Yeah.
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 What you really think it is?
I mean, the same thing you guys are saying. Like, I think it's the ultimate flexibility, which to me is freedom, but it's also just having options. I heard one of my favorite comedians say that, like, the thing about entrepreneurship, independence, having finances, having resources is having options. And that means
Anything is
more to
possible.
me than anything. Yeah.
Multiple streams of income, right?
Yeah.
They say that you should, or
Pursue it. at
yeah,
least.
you should pursue it. And sometimes, Candy, from Escape, she says that she wants to have a business for each child that she has.
Okay.
Basically. Yeah. So that when she's gone, that each child will be provided for amongst what she just has financially left them, or
Right.
and whatever monetary have left them, but they actually have something of their own.
To run
Yeah.
and
run
build
with.
towards.
Yeah, build towards. Yeah,
and
for
leave
sure.
to their offspring.
Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's really, all of that in one. It's a mixed bag of lows and highs, but realistically, we probably wouldn't want it any other way.
No facts.
No, I wouldn't have any. I wouldn't trade this life for no life.
right.
Period.
Yeah.
So in this episode, we're going to take a journey to which so many entrepreneurs can relate. And first, I want to speak to, like, bringing yourself to a place of, like, from doubt to really, really having that confidence.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Like, how important is confidence, like, when you're pursuing being an entrepreneur?
I mean, you're ultimately selling yourself. You've got to have confidence to do that.
Yeah.
I think you build confidence over time with experience. Like, experience grants confidence. The more you do it, the more you succeed at it, the more confident you become.
Practice makes perfect, but there really is no perfect.
There is no perfect.
There is no perfect, but practice makes perfect. Some of the doubts come from unsurety, not knowing what is ahead.
Right.
Like, oh, I'm not sure if I'm gonna fail, or what if this doesn't happen, or what if this doesn't work, or what
Right.
if nobody likes this, or whatever. So, once you get past, like, doubting yourself and being scared of the unknown, confidence gets built from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I personally feel confidence too is ultimately, like, the most important thing in entrepreneurship, because, like, if you don't believe it,
Right.
like,
Yeah, especially if you're in
How can you sell
sales.
it to somebody
Right,
else?
yeah.
You don't believe it.
Yeah.
exactly.
exactly.
Like, most of us, the three of us, are in service. So if, like, we don't believe in what we do,
Right.
and we can't confidently talk to you about it and educate you on it, like, how could we sell it?
Right.
Right.
It's really a
Especially as like a
lifestyle.
solopreneur, you're the marketer, you're the salesperson, you're the customer service,
Jay
you're
said,
you know, so you
I'm a
definitely
business. I'm a
Man.
business
Yes,
man.
Yes.
absolutely.
Like he's the whole package.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw a
And one.
meme that was so funny. They were like, to the small businesses or solo, entrepreneurs or one man teams or whatever. We see you when they like, at the end of your email, like, we thank you for your business.
We.
know there's no
Yeah, we all know we.
but we see you.
Yes, definitely.
Right, but like leading up to the ultimate confidence, like and getting to that space, you experience all kind of wild shit. Like, right, like speak to like what it really is to have and feel like that imposter syndrome, and like that moment that clicked that you were over it, or shit, have you even really gotten out of that space with yourself?
Well, define imposter syndrome.
Like-
What
like-
is your definition? Because I've seen it and it's become like a
Hot topic.
like a hot topic or
It's like a
whatever. And so
buzzword.
every time, exactly. Every time I see somebody talk about it, their idea of it is something completely different. So like, what are you? How do you view imposter syndrome?
I view it as like you putting limitations on what you can do in your business, because you may not be fully aware of what you are and who you are.
Right.
In a sense, it's like you got the credentials, you know
Right.
your shit, but it's something like holding you back, something making you feel like, why is
Right.
my point of view even valuable? You know what I
Right.
mean? So like that moment, you're second guessing yourself for like taking the next step in whatever
Right.
way, be it becoming an educator or just like speaking on your social platform, like whatever that limitation is that makes you feel like your word kind of isn't valuable, or your expertise is what I think that is. Like you, for some weird reason, don't feel like you're supposed to be
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
I think in the process of like becoming that entrepreneur, you're so busy focused on doing the work, being in the business. You're not really watching your milestones. Like you're not really paying
Yeah.
attention or celebrating the milestones. So it's hard to like, I was this person that was a newbie. Now I've graduated to this level. It's hard to see yourself as the expert,
Right.
when you are not focused on being the expert.
You just
Like
trying
you're
to do
exactly.
Trying to do the things.
Exactly.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
All the things.
Yes.
the checkpoints,
Exactly.
Yeah.
versus like get the title and the accolade.
And I think people that don't have any imposter syndrome, it's a little sus. It's like, where is this unfounded
Yeah,
confidence?
yeah.
Like, what is that?
Who gave you all
Yeah.
the
But I feel like it might show up in different ways too.
It does definitely show up in different
Yeah, it shows
ways.
up in different ways. Like, okay, you may feel like how we talked about in the last episode, like, oh, I really don't post on social, but why is it that you don't post
Right.
on social? Like,
Right.
why you don't want to present yourself? You are your business, you
Right.
are your brand. No matter even if you do have a face, somebody
Right.
else is the face of your brand or whatever. You're still the brand. You're still the business. So I feel like it does show up in different ways. Like, for me, I feel like mine was somewhere in the middle when I knew that I had reached a certain place, and I'm like, my conversation needs to be different.
Right.
Holy crap.
Yeah,
Yes.
my
Yes.
conversation
Yeah.
needs to be different.
Because I'm seeing things
'Cause I'm
differently.
seeing things differently, and I have gotten to a place where I'm like, oh, I'm running with the best of them. You know,
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, that is really, really like important that you brought
Yeah.
that up, because even within that process of my conversation, people were calling that out to me.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like certain people, I don't even think, I know people for years and we catch up pretty much every time we have an appointment, but people started calling out like, I see you moving different. Like, let me know when what's what. They paying attention to how I'm moving. And it's because I started, feeling like I'm an authority in this arena.
You start elevating
Right.
mentally.
It's like when you
Mentally.
have it's the ultimate confidence for me personally, the ultimate confidence that I get when I know I put in the work.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
I know
Absolutely.
I did the hours. I don't care however you
Right.
however you take
Right.
this, whatever.
Yeah.
I know what I did.
Yeah.
I know what I put in. I
Yeah.
know how seriously I take
Right.
it. So it's really nothing you can
Yeah.
tell
Right.
me.
For me, it was like my work punched me in the face.
What you mean?
Like, so I was recording content or whatever, and then how you just go back and you watch what you did for that day or yesterday or whatever. And I watched myself. I was doing a haircut, and I was like, "Damn, like you killed that." And I was like thinking, like, "Damn, where did I learn that from?" Like, and I started this thing where I started cutting the inside of the hair, and that just means, say for instance, somebody's hair is like really bad and it needs to be cut or whatever. Sometimes people cut too much off because they're looking at the hair from face, right? But if you pull up, if you go on the inside, if you know how to cut against the hair, so you know you may have breakage at the top or heat damage at the top, but you're not cutting straight across. You're just cutting in there. But I mean, it's TMI, but it shook me to the core. Like
I've arrived.
Oh my God! Like, you're killing it.
And it's like once you're there, it's like it's no
going back.
It's no going back. Yeah. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
So give me some technique. Like I said, we all experience imposter syndrome differently, but we are literally working daily to, like I'm becoming, I'm getting there. I'm becoming,
absolutely.
I'm stepping out of it, right?
Yeah.
So as you do that, like what are some techniques that you may use as you try to like navigate those points where you like don't let this insecurity like overtake you and stop you, or you know, like what gives you that, what do you practice to help you get past those moments?
I have a lot of personal conversations with myself.
Like, okay, you talk to yourself.
Yeah, I talk to myself, like the overthinking. Like, okay, girl, chill out. Like,
do you talk to yourself out loud, or you just have it in your brain?
I talk out loud too.
Yeah,
I literally be like, okay, girl, you're tripping.
Right.
I mean, like, what's going on? It's just like the overthinking. Having pep talks with myself.
Yeah. And
literally telling myself mentally, like, you got this.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I guess mine would be just like experience. Like I said, I think in the beginning of entrepreneurship, in the beginning of like starting your business, you're going to incur every single situation there is to incur. Almost by design. It's like it's almost by design, because those things that we was dealing with, we don't deal with now.
No.
So it's almost like it's by design. It's like the universe is testing us.
Right?
Yeah. So
building character.
Exactly. So through experience, you gain the confidence. I went through that. The next time it's not gonna feel as bad. It's not gonna be as as tough. Yeah. It's like I'm not gonna feel it the same way. So you build confidence for me, just by going through
having grace for yourself.
Doing it. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think also like once you have really mastered your craft, you know what you're bringing to the table. It's like I don't even need to take a picture of this because I know, you know what I mean. Like I don't have nothing to prove. Like I know what I'm bringing to the table. So. It takes time.
It's feeling.
It's real for me. Like when I have those moments, I'm like you. I have full conversations with myself, and they happen in the shower.
Yeah.
It goes down. You fuck around and catch me in the shower, you go hear some shit.
Yeah.
It's real. Like I'm just like I gotta reenact this thing. Sometimes I have to play it out. Like I do overthink. I'm in my head a lot, but I try to. I try to see it from a different perspective, and sometimes I have to hear it out loud, and that's just what it is. I anticipate a lot of responses when I'm navigating things, or if I have to get an answer about something. Like I navigate maybe in my brain, like, what I'm about to get back, so I already have my because I don't want to show no.
You're self-preserved. Where I don't think I was very much in like autopilot. Just kind of going through like a robot, not really dealing with the feelings or dealing with them inappropriately. Yeah. Until therapy. Yeah. And we'll talk about that another time. Yeah. So I wasn't having those conversations in the shower. Yeah. It was a lot of self-talk going on in my head that I was like trying to suppress more than anything. But with the assistance of therapy, like it's helped. Yeah, just be present, because I wasn't present. It wasn't that I wasn't having emotions. I wasn't dealing with them because I was in autopilot. It's like you check in to work on Tuesday. And I'm not checking out till Saturday.
Catch me on
so I'm just rolling. I'm just
Otherwise,
I'm a robot, until I'm not.
Don't judge me.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, real feels. For me, and that's my one thing, having those conversations. And that is why I love trap music on the way to work in the morning.
It puts you in the mood.
It gives me the mood when the men is talking about their trap.
When the men is talking about the trap.
I love it.
Yeah.
This
No,
morning,
it puts me in
I woke up.
It puts me in a different
feeling
world.
like money.
It puts me in a
I
different world.
jumped up.
I am so not a trap.
Put it
girl.
on.
Like, I'm not a rap girl at
It
all.
puts me in a different mode. Like,
I'm missing out. I'm just
Jay-Z
yeah.
and some Rick Ross in the morning.
I'm missing out.
Have you feel
you
like
know what?
some Pusha
It makes
T
me feel
in the
like I'm
morning?
actually a dope dealer.
Exactly.
It's by the cash.
Griselda Blanco. Like, I'm going to a trap to get you.
Yeah.
Yes.
My lash company is called
Addicted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I really be like, I'm out here serving. No, so it just puts me really in a good mood. I am somebody who really is affected by the music that's playing around me.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm listening to the words.
I'm affected by my music.
Yeah,
it's just
true.
not trap.
Yeah. I totally
Yeah.
get it. But I just be seeing
Yeah,
myself as
for
the
sure.
trap.
Absolutely.
definitely
I see
like
the
my
benefits in
fave.
it. Like I see the
Trap is my
benefits.
fave.
Yeah, so it's always pretty fun. So that's how I kind of get myself
You
going.
know what's weird though? Like I listen to trap on the way to work, but on the way home, I really don't like listen to trap. I'll be more so like
No, on the way
Winding
home.
down.
On the way home, I might not even have on the music.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's literally
It's
might
like
be
a
just
clear of a
driving.
mind. Yes, a clearing of a mind.
1000%.
Yeah. for
If
sure.
I'm not talking to my mama, I'm not listening. And then sometimes I'll be talking to my mom and she'll tell you this straight up. I'll be like, all right, I want to listen to some music.
I'm like
I've
that
done
all the
all I can
time.
do, baby.
I'm like that all the time.
She be
All right, I
like,
gotta
you
go.
are, who are you?
Right.
Right. Okay. So yeah, that was fun. So I also, another thing I always like to pinpoint because I think, and I guess because I do it, I personally notice that it's not like just confidence. When you do have that, like you can make eye contact and speak to people. It really, really, really like changes the mood, and you're taking so much more seriously. Your words matter. Like you being an authority and what you have to say about whatever we're talking about. You know,
Right.
if I'm educating on.
Yeah.
If you just look people in the eye and say what you got to say,
Oh yeah.
it changes the mood. And like,
You train
Sometimes-
yourself.
yeah,
You'll train yourself.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
it's very. And I notice when I do it to people that aren't expecting it, it's almost an immediate shift.
Oh yeah, isn't it? You said
Yeah.
you're intentional about that.
Yeah.
I think some people. I mean, for me, giving eye contact wasn't always the main thing. That was something I was dealing with.
Yeah.
Because there's something to be said about when you are an expert at what you do, right? So I was an expert at what I did in corporate. I mastered that. I got all the praises, all of that, right? And then when you shift and becoming a beginner, a newbie in an industry,
Especially
there is
at an
something that's
older
very
age.
uncomfortable about, exactly. There's something very uncomfortable about that. And so you may not feel as confident. That has to be built, through experience. So I wasn't always delivering on the eye contact in that moment, but I'm delivering on the work. And so that can also, but
That
of
can
course,
outweigh.
but what you're saying, you giving that eye contact, they automatically trust you.
I mean,
Whereas I have to prove myself on
Sometimes.
that first appointment
Yeah,
sometimes.
sometimes.
That's like,
Exactly.
let me
You know
give
what I
you an
mean?
example.
Exactly.
Like when I was at the salon that I worked in, straight out of hair school, they're like, you cut in the mirror.
Okay.
Keep them in the mirror. You cut in the mirror because people are watching what you're doing.
Right.
And if you are super confident when you are cutting,
You right there in their face
and
with
they're
it.
right there in their face with it, and you ain't shifting,
Right.
You just like going for it.
Right.
They become fully trustworthy.
Absolutely.
That is the same to say like you look them in the eye
Yes.
when you're speaking to them, whatever. It's the
For
same
sure.
thing.
Yeah, it's all in.
Yeah.
Body language and everything makes a huge difference. So
For sure.
it's more than looking you in the eye. Like you gotta
Absolutely.
You gotta serve.
Yeah.
You gotta serve.
Yeah.
That is why I also practice looking
when
better.
you look good, you feel good. Yeah.
You gotta look better than you feel.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
You ain't always. Well, you don't have to, but it makes it a hell of a
It
lot
does.
easier.
Yeah.
It makes it so much easier to like I said, I never dealt with anybody questioning me
Yeah.
as a professional.
Yeah.
Ever. Even maybe when I should have been questioned. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Well, that's
Like,
one
never
thing I
dealt with-
envy from you guys, though, because you guys are able to kind of dress up and do basically what it is that you
Who?
want.
We?
Yeah, because
She.
okay.
I listen, like I said,
Let me tell you why I said
it's
that.
about the work.
It is.
For
It is.
me.
Let me tell you why I
It
said
is.
that because
It is.
And I'm growing to
Yeah.
this is the thing, I was raised that way. Like
Yeah.
you don't leave the house not
Yeah.
done up, not
Yeah.
And of course, as the rebel that I am,
Of course.
after high school, I resisted. I challenged
up.
that.
what I
And
was saying
so
was that you could
yeah.
if you wanted to, because for me,
But you don't have to.
no, you don't
No.
have to. But for me,
And-
I'm a messy painter.
Yeah.
So
it
like,
should be everywhere.
yeah, stuff be everywhere. So I mess up nice things. So
Yeah.
I do my best with presenting myself in a nice way, but it really is no point to come in there dressed to the nines because I'm losing.
Yeah, you're not gonna mess up your
Right.
stuff.
You always
Yeah.
look cute at work though.
But you
try.
always look
Yeah.
good at work. But here's the thing, and when I say good at work, that is whatever you're
put together.
Right,
best
right.
version of
It's your-
yourself.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like it shouldn't be I'm rolling out of bed.
Right.
going to
Absolutely
work.
not.
Look
Yeah.
like you
Take
tried.
pride.
You gave a damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you had to show up to somebody's potentially earning 6-figure business, you would. If they had a standard on dress code, you would take it seriously.
Or think about
But
this.
you're the
What's the type of
businessman.
clients you have in your chair? What do they want to see?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like I said, that is together. Whatever you're presenting, your best self.
Yeah.
And for me, that may be way more than others.
And that changes.
And that changes.
And
The,
that
this is the thing. If I'm giving 100%, whatever that 100% is today, that's just what it is.
It's what it is.
Yeah.
It
And,
is what it is.
So, especially when you're starting out.
Yeah.
Because it'll give you that,
sure,
it'll
when
give
you're
you that
starting
trust
out.
and that
Yeah.
faith from clients that you don't necessarily just, get off the
Off the
grip.
rip.
And I did that. I played that game. You know what I mean? When I worked with you, I played the game. I did the things. I did the
too in
makeup.
the beginning. Then it was like I'm just losing money because these clothes tore up. Like
No,
why would I-
1,000%
yeah.
of that. After COVID, I just was happy to show up. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I
Yeah.
look neat and clean, but
Yeah.
But even my neighbor, she's like, "Oh my God!" I told my mom, "There's this girl who comes to work and she does hair and she be dressed every day." I'd be like, "Girl, I got on these Forever 21 leggings
right.
You look
and
cute
a
though.
matching
Yeah.
hoodie, and I will have a nice pair of tennis shoes. or something
Absolutely.
like that. But
Yeah.
I'm like, it don't really take much.
It don't
Yeah.
though.
No.
Like I said, I never get more compliments from when I have to stop at Target before I come in.
Right.
Work. Like,
Yeah,
It's don't take much, but it's effort. Like
it is effort.
and it's
yeah.
the beauty business. People, I don't know, they take you seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I've recently adopted a uniform.
that's lit.
Yeah.
And
that's
it
intentional.
works for me because I'm trying to work so heavily in some other parts of my life.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so it's like to not have to make that decision.
Yeah.
But I feel cute in it. I feel, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It works.
I said that I want
Yeah.
I did it a couple times during COVID, like wore the scrubs. I definitely want to get myself like work
little
scrubs.
lips.
Yeah.
Custom
Custom work
We
scrubs.
need hairstylist, lash artist, esthetician, fits,
Fit.
scrub-esque.
Yes.
Like
Let's do
that's
it.
a business.
Let's do
Let's
it.
do it.
Yeah.
It's done.
We might have to cut that one out.
Today's
Y'all
the
might have to
day.
steal our ideas. Don't
Today's
be
the
stealing our
day.
ideas.
Right.
I'm telling you. Okay. I think what like another thing that I think that is really important in building confidence is seeking feedback from like trusted loved ones,
Yes.
trusted people. I want you know what I mean in your life. Seek their feedback and like be okay with like honest critique,
For sure.
Yes.
like
For
because you can't be out here looking nuts.
Yes. Not only that. Okay, so look. I visited somewhere. Dang, I might get in trouble for this. I visited somewhere and it was a church. And something happened that I didn't like, and I told a family member that I feel like everybody, doesn't matter what level you're on, should have a person that they can run things by, or somebody that they can not necessarily report to, but just kind of
Right.
bounce things off of, or somebody that holds you accountable, like maybe in your industry. For instance, like my aunt or whatever. So of course she came and took one of my classes, right? Because she wanted to get higher education. Now we're doing microlinks, tapings, and she don't know that world, you know? So she came, but at the same time, she was taking my 2-day course, and she was giving me some critique about things. She was like, "What time do you start work?" No, you need to be here earlier. You need to just giving me things. There's sometimes you need
Somebody's perspective.
yeah, and it don't even have to be a loved one. It could just be on a professional relationship
Yeah.
that you have.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I said that to my family member. I'm like, this person needs somebody that he can communicate with to help him learn how to communicate as well.
How to communicate critique.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because the way he presented it didn't.
I didn't. It left me feeling
You didn't receive
uncomfortable.
it.
And
Yeah.
it wasn't me that he was speaking to, but it left me feeling uncomfortable. But I think sometimes when you feel like you have it all figured out and you've gotten so high in the world or whatever, there's nobody that you can communicate to because everybody comes to you.
But that
Yeah.
person was taking
How
your
you-
class, though, right?
No, this was a church.
Oh, okay,
at a
okay,
church,
got you.
And I just felt like that particular person that was in leadership needed somebody to
Check
talk.
them.
I mean,
Yes,
critique
check
has to
them.
be like
Yeah.
welcomed and warranted. And
Yeah.
if I don't trust you and I'm not giving you, I'm
Yeah.
not welcoming this from you, then why are you
And
offering this
there
to me?
also needs to be constant growth with things.
Absolutely.
And not just in your business financially. It needs to be constant growth mentally, spiritually. You know, like it's important for you to pour into yourself, but holding yourself accountable as well.
For sure.
And I don't think a lot of people do that. Yeah.
They don't.
No.
It's too much work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Way too much
Sometimes.
work.
Do you think that the ultimate confidence comes into play, or like you start feeling like you're there in a sense, the more and more decisions you have to make? Like, and like, you know how like you're making these decisions and then like the decision you made panned out because also you did the work to get there.
Yeah. Experience
But
that
like,
panned out.
It
Yeah.
just like constantly having to make decisions and them working out in your favor. I think not always working out in your favor. Maybe a mixed bag for a while until your vision gets really clear. But I think having to make tough decisions all the time, I started gaining more confidence in myself. You know, in a sense of like, oh, I chose that, and you know, like that worked out in the best for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, well, we learned that from, growing up, you know?
Yeah.
So like, I told somebody, you know, think about like when you were a little kid and you look to your parents and your parents are raising you, whatever. There's a certain age when you turn the corner and your parents kind of look to you for stuff, right? Like, they're like, how you do this? Or how you do that?
Right.
You, blah, 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 blah. Have you ever seen, you know, it's just a certain point where you just kind of like, everything kind of like adjusts, right? So if you've done and make decisions in your life, you went from high school to college, right? And then you graduated college and then you started making money and doing things, whatever. You started learning the world, right? It's the same within business. At a certain point, you start doing this and forth. Some things don't work out, and then you start learning more and more and more. And then you kind of turn the corner in business, and now there's not really your foundation is built, right? So now any other decision that you make, you're confident in yourself to make.
Yeah, you have something to pull from.
Yeah.
It's like I did that before. Even if it's not the same situation, it's reminiscent of a past situation that you can take from.
Yeah,
for sure.
and I'm confident making decisions because I've done it this far.
Right.
It's worked out.
Yeah,
right? Exactly. Yeah.
Right. And even when it don't work out, when you get to a certain level, after you stop like wasting money, you like, I learned something from that.
Yeah, even when it don't work out, it worked out. It's a lesson for sure.
Yeah, it's a lesson.
I never have any losses. There are always wins because there's always a lesson in the L, right?
Why did you adopt that mindset?
Because I truly feel like my storms, I welcome the storm because there's always a blessing at the end of that storm.
Yeah.
And it honestly builds character. It builds you up.
Yeah.
And I always appreciated myself or loved on myself or how I handled things.
Yeah.
That made me admire Shakila more.
Exactly.
Like,
Right.
You literally dealt with that and walked through it and you became, resilient. You were resilient.
Right.
So I welcome the storms because it only makes me learn and makes me feel better about myself.
Yeah, they teach you what to do and what not to do.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And like real talk, just on a real basic level, it's like I can't be stressed about this.
I mean, you are only allotted so much
I'm only
stress.
allowed-
It's like,
and I'm not allowing it.
Yeah.
there.
And then you learn to trust yourself.
Yeah, there we go.
You lean on your friends,
there we
your
go.
family,
So
your
here we
mentors, and then you
go.
learn to trust yourself.
Basically, what I want to bring up next,
Yeah.
like bringing yourself from crumbs to like trust,
Right.
like the ultimate trust. Like, how did you build that trust in yourself?
I've always had it.
Yeah,
That's a real thing.
Like
not
self-centered, but
you
no,
know-
I've always had it. I can always remember
Feeling that
that
way.
way. Yeah, and I always knew what it is I wanted to do. And
Yeah.
even when I changed the trajectory of my life, I was still very confident knowing
Yeah.
that I can get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like even if I had to go search for the answers, I knew that I was going to get it. If nothing else, I'm gonna get it done.
Yeah.
I might fail on some shit, but Chicago's gonna get it the fuck done.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll say the same thing. Like, I feel like I always had that growing up, of course. I do think there was a shift when I started my own business, this particular business. Because there's a bit of isolation. And, of course, like, I'm not constantly in communication with my clients. Like, I lay them down. They go to sleep. I get in my own head. You know what I mean? So sometimes just not having that adult engagement, not having conversations, like it's isolating. I was like neglecting things that I needed, like neglecting my relationships, my family, my friends, some of those things that added to my whole pot. And so I justified that by like, I'm building this business. You know what I mean? But once the business is kind of operating on its, it's operating on its own. It's like you're using it as an excuse. Yeah, you're using it as an excuse. You don't really realize how much you're missing, how much you really need. You need that social interaction. Yeah. You need that personal time. So being a robot Tuesday through Saturday, is just not okay. Like, you've got to feel your feels. You got to be very present. And you can't use that as an excuse. So just having that balance, which is whatever that is for you.
Yeah.
Filling all those pots.
Filling all of them pots. Yeah. Pretty much. So. Yeah.
Okay. No, for sure.
Okay.
Good answer. Yeah.
Good answer.
It made me start thinking about other stuff though.
Yeah.
Like it was
Not feeling connected is what I found out that was. Being detached.
That is what my stepmom at one point she described. She was like, "You're a little detached."
Yeah.
People say that about me. Like, look.
But she meant it in a different way.
No. And people see me. You know what I mean? People who know me, they see me, and they know when I'm floating.
But she felt like you weren't present.
Yeah.
Like even when you're here, you weren't present.
Yeah.
I see her as detached. I feel like I see you as just free.
Yeah.
I feel like you're just you.
Thank you. I feel like that about me.
For sure.
So like when some private conversations that we've had, you say like people's critique of you, whatever, and I'm like, this was even the beginning of our friendship, and I'm like, I don't really see that. I just see blah 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 blah. Yeah. And you're like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah.
I mean, I feel that,
but it's hard to be like, she just don't fuck with you. I'm sorry, but like it's hard to say that. Like you're not that.
Well, I don't have
where
that
you're
much
tapped in.
Yeah. That much fake. I can be fake with my energy.
Yeah.
When I'm with you, it's real. It's like real solid, but I'm not spreading myself thin. Like
to force it.
No.
Yeah, you're not willing to force it.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And I just like seeing people for them.
Yeah, me too. And that the fact that when another thing when we said, back in episode 1, why this would work. Right. Everybody recognized everybody here.
Yeah.
For sure.
And it's just like what it is. You maneuver along. But always with respect. But it's very a scene space. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So it's comfortable. I like it a lot. And so like what is the importance like with your clientele or like whatever and within whatever business you're building, like the importance of you like or you know what, this speaks to a space of like leading by example and how important that is in building trust, whether it be like with your clientele or with like maybe you having an employee or somebody to work with.
Yeah.
Like, and sometimes I feel like people don't grow as quickly because they won't do the work to create those systems.
Yeah.
To be able to like scale in certain ways. And it's like, you know what you're doing, but when it's time to go show it or like present it, it's like, maybe I don't want to because I'm not really doing or working up to my full potential. Yeah. So it's like, what gets you to that point where you just want to be seen as the ultimate professional across the board?
I'll answer part of your question.
Yeah, it's long.
No, it's okay. My thing has always been to work side by side with somebody before you try to boss somebody. Yeah. Yes. It's super important. So when I did work in retail, so when I was a regional versus when I was a VP or when I was a district manager, they would be like, you don't really have to interact with key holders. So it went from VP, regional manager, district manager, store manager, assistant manager, key holders, and sales associates. I would be communicating with sales associates. I'd be communicating with key holders. If I visit
all good leaders do.
Yeah. I'm gonna put on my tennis shoes and I'm gonna get on the floor.
It's good leadership.
With you. Yeah, absolutely. So
that's what make people believe.
Believe
they don't want to disappoint you. If they don't like you, they don't care about disappointing you.
What it is that you're doing or what you're struggling at, and let's work together. Or let me show you how it's done. It's really not that hard. All you got to do is communicate, whatever. And so I kind of took that same mindset in this business. So like, if I tell you, don't touch your hair, twist your hair up at night,
Right.
you ain't really got to do whatever. Like I show them, or it's all in results. A lot of things are in results. So it's like, I do the exact same things that you do. So why is it not working for you?
Right.
You're not really doing that.
I'm using the exact same product.
I'm using the exact same product.
Placed the exact same
Right.
way. Yeah,
Like,
you just got to do it and commit to it. And honestly, just allow somebody to feel like you guys I'm not above you.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm in the trenches with you.
I'm in the trenches with you. And I started off where you are. And we're going to get to this point.
Exactly.
And it is what it is.
And in
sure.
every way possible, because I've experienced all the hiccups and spent all the extra money, I'm going to give you the tidbits on that.
Yeah.
But it's some pockets you're not going to be able to skip over. You got to do this work. Like, you got to show up. And if I'm in here grinding in the trenches with you, like, what would make you think you finna skip all of this process?
Right.
Like, yeah, and it makes people trust you, like, a lot more. And that's really important.
And giving information that you don't have to
That's
give
what I was
to. Like, you know, people admire that. They be like, oh, she didn't have to say that. She had to do that.
That was my next point. Becoming an excellent communicator and like like mastering your expertise.
Yeah.
And being able to educate. Like, I honestly feel like the moment you gain a person's trust outside of the experience altogether is how the communication happens about the appointment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I built that with my clients.
Yes.
Speaking on that end, it's just like being consistent.
Yeah.
Having integrity.
Yes.
And so I think that builds the ultimate trust.
Yes.
And then also letting them know, like, we're working together in this. Like, this is mutually beneficial.
Yes.
You're not supporting me, and I'm not supporting you. Like, this is mutually beneficial for us. We work together to get the ultimate goal.
That's the perfect way to describe
which benefits
that.
the both of us.
Right.
Dang.
That part.
And I wouldn't set you up for failure.
At all. Because your failure is my failure.
No facts.
Yeah, like your win is my win.
Yeah,
your
exactly.
failure is my failure. All right, so you spoke on a little bit of the topic that I wanted to bring up next, which is the isolation, right?
Okay.
But you spoke to it in a way of like it being about your connection and being cut off from, like, the sacrifice we make being cut off from our family and our personal time.
Right.
But I want to speak to, like, the isolation of you being the professional working and making connections with other professionals and, like, doing that little bit of work to network and how beneficial it can be because nobody understands you besides you. Like, go ahead.
I guess in my situation is unique because I had you.
Yeah.
But that made me double down in my isolation from my friends and family because I got hurt. It was like, it made it worse. It exacerbated, like, you know what I mean? And so even we're friends, we're business partners. That's fine. We were at one point employee and employer. But you know, like those cups of like the people that grew up with you, that know you to your core, having that, or my partner, for instance, you know, even that, like just my parents, whatever, getting detached from who I was as a person, as an individual. It was really where like all of my titles at one point, it was like, well, who are you? And I could not answer that question without it being based on who I did for what I was to people.
Titles.
Yeah, titles. What I represented in other people's lives. It wasn't about like who I was. But no, speaking to that, as much as that affected, you know, my other parts of my life, having you, it was the ultimate blessing.
Amen.
You know what I mean? Like, and having you now, like, it's like, it's like-minded. I would have jumped off a bridge without you. You know what I mean?
Likewise.
Like, it was
part of
such a blessing. Let me not say it like that. But
no, real talk. There were, and what I appreciated about that space we've been in and we are in is that we don't have them at the same moment.
Oh, for sure.
So it's like when you riding the wave, I'm like,
right.
Energy.
It's a balance.
It's a balance.
Yeah, it's a balance.
We're not both breaking
and
down.
to recognize it without having to like deep dive.
Yeah. It's like this
extra
text today.
Absolutely.
Let me send some coffee.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so like that's the amazing part. And although it seems like time consuming, like we have a unique bond, but although it seems time consuming to make those connections with other like-minded individuals or other entrepreneurs, that's why I think it's necessary.
It's so
because
necessary.
It expands your bandwidth.
Yeah. I can only imagine how other people that don't have that, how they feel.
Well, can
Or
I say
only
two
get
things
that
to
on
that though?
social.
Like,
Yeah.
okay, so the first thing is, sometimes people do want to isolate themselves in the industry they're in because they feel intimidated by somebody else.
They feel like they're competing.
Yeah, they feel like, oh,
That's your
Like,
competitor.
there's not enough women in Atlanta
Exactly,
for
like, we
us all to
can't-
eat.
yeah.
Like, people not
Like, we
begging
can't
for
be jealous
stylists.
because we do the same things
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
For instance, like I have
Because I can't take
I
them
have
all.
some clients who are hairstylists.
Two hands. I got two
I have
hands.
clients who are hairstylists or whatever, and they're like, yeah, there's a lot of girls who like feel some type of way about other hairstylists sitting in their chair, and I'm like, I don't know why that is. Like, we all need our hair done.
Everybody
You know what I
need
mean?
their hair
Everybody gets tired of doing their own hair. Everybody doesn't want to always do their own hair. As
Right.
hairstylists. You want that experience too. You want to send the shampoo bowl and let somebody scrub and dub your
Right.
hair. Absolutely.
I wish I might wash my hair back a bit.
No, that's just like you literally putting your own lashes on your
Right.
eyes. Why would you do that?
Why would you try?
But also too, I was gonna say isolation for me wasn't necessarily like the way you were speaking about it. It was moments when things weren't going right.
Yeah.
Then I used to isolate myself. Yeah.
To
Like,
ride
and-
that wave alone.
Yeah, in
I'm
the beginning,
notorious.
yeah, in the beginning of the stages, it's like, oh, I'm not really saying nothing, not really saying,
Right.
saying much or whatever.
Suffering in silence.
Yeah, and even if when the money still was flowing in, but you're still just not happy with where the business is,
Mm-hmm.
like maybe the success level of it all, and then you just kind of like go into these moments mentally in your head.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I need to be alone. Yeah, and I had to come out of that. Like,
Yeah.
speak up.
Yeah. Speak up.
What's the new saying right now on Instagram? Speak up.
Speak up. Stand up.
Stand up.
No, 1,000%. And that's easier said than done.
Yeah.
So it's
And
like
it happens on both sides, like doing well, not doing well.
Yeah.
Because I can't say that mine was for any other reason other than being isolated. Like you don't have colleagues when you're a
Yeah.
solopreneur. Like
Yeah.
there's somebody to lean over
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
talk to and
Yeah.
get that little kiki off with.
Yeah.
So, and then like in the salon suite that I'm in, there's no windows.
Mm-hmm.
It's just isolation.
Yeah. But
Like-
you know what the sad part in that was though, even in those moments, like so the I'll say the one thing that used to frustrate me was in the beginning was I wasn't aware of what we call J months in the beauty industry. So
Okay.
J
June,
months?
yeah. So we call it June, July, and January are supposed to be the slow months for us in the hair industry because June and July people travel, right?
Yeah.
And then in January,
wear
that's
breaks.
right after the
Right,
holidays. People
right,
really
right.
don't have much money.
Right.
So I'm thinking it was just me that was
Oh,
slow.
absolutely.
And
That's
because,
isolating
again,
us. Right.
I'm a solo.
Entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And really it was not.
That's
and so
what-
once I, like we spoke about earlier, got my person that I can bounce things off of
Right.
and talk to and whatever, work with, they're like, girl,
Yeah.
That's normal, right?
yeah.
Been around forever.
So you prepare
Yeah.
yourself. So I started doing things. So if I'm doing all high ticket numbers, like say for instance, a type of extension or whatever, there's other ways to fill in those blanks when there is a slow months. People,
Right.
You still keep people with your natural hair who wear their hair or do haircuts only or do color, whatever the case may be. It's just about navigating how you do your business,
Right.
and how you market your business,
Absolutely.
and how you retain
Right.
your clients
And-
and pre-booking.
Yeah.
Well,
That's one of the best things about having the community, though, having that person to lean
Yeah.
on. And hopefully we are that for some of the people that are going to be
Whomever.
listening, because
Yeah.
just knowing it's not just you.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, in all parts of life,
changes
just knowing that
everything.
this is normal is so beneficial.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. So it's safe to say that like strong relationships and like positive
Vital.
feedback is what make leaders take that next step in becoming like, their
Yeah.
Yeah.
best self in the industry.
Yeah.
And you can't underestimate the value of good like feedback.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so this next phase is called From Impetuosity. That's
Oh.
the SAT word.
That's your word for the week.
Yes, my word
Spell that for me.
hey, yo, you don't even want to know
I'm not.
the issue behind that
I'm
statement.
not.
Oh my
Spell it.
goodness.
That was
Okay.
a
There's
whole
some- there's
10-minute
some-
argument.
Oh shoot.
Recent or childhood?
No, record it.
Oh. about that for another day.
I remember.
Okay, so really, really, impatience is really a bad habit, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, you kind of got to like remind yourself, like, entrepreneurship is the long way, strong way.
Yeah.
You know
For
what I mean?
sure.
Yeah.
So in that space, like, it's easy. I find myself, I'm not impatient with myself these days, but I find myself when things aren't perfect,
Oh yeah.
when things are low,
Mm-hmm.
you get really, really impatient with the process.
Mhm.
Okay.
So what are some techniques that help you like keep focus when those, I guess, we really just spoke on it. Like, it's just like making those connections and knowing that you're not alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, also too, in a personal space, I pray. I'll just be like, God give, and it don't have to be a long prayer. I just be like, God give me peace,
Yeah.
because I feel like I will wreck my brain,
Yeah.
and I need to slow down and just be like, just give me peace, because I just feel like being impatient or being agitated or wanting things done in the time frame that I want it done in is definitely a working thing for me. But I just literally just be like, God, give me peace, because I know
Yeah.
it's gonna be all mental for me in like
Yeah.
2.5. Like, just relax.
Yeah.
Relax.
Where's the drugs?
Like, relax.
Yeah, like relax.
At the end of the day, because it's gonna happen and
It's
it's
gonna
all gonna work
happen.
out when it's
Yeah.
supposed to. But what do you feel about people being impatient with the process and they didn't put in
I
the
don't
work?
like that.
I mean, I think it's a common thing, especially now, especially like the social media age that we live in. You want it now, you want it now, you want it now.
What is that, Gen Z?
Yeah.
I mean, that's Gen IG.
Everybody,
Yeah.
Gen
Because I mean,
IG.
honestly, if I'm being honest,
Carefully
there has not been a
curated
time that I've
content.
really put in effort. I made the deposits and I didn't get the outcome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think there's a time that you go to the gym, you get the results if you're consistent. So most of the time, if I'm impatient, it's really frustration with me. Because I know for a fact I haven't done the work.
The word.
Yeah.
Because if you do the work, 9 times out of
You'll
10.
appreciate it more, and you'll look you'll
Yeah.
look back and be like, damn, I
what I
did.
So
built.
my impatience is sometimes just frustration.
You know, for real.
You better like rip a paper.
Right. It's like, if you are for real with yourself,
Yeah.
you know.
If you for real
Yeah.
with yourself, that is real truth, real honesty.
Yeah.
Like with yourself.
The process is the most beautiful part, though.
Yeah.
In
but
hindsight.
and being
I'm saying, like, yeah, in hindsight,
Yeah.
because you're like, I built this.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
yeah.
Who takes the time?
It's
Does anybody
where the
take your
most-
time
That's
to
where
do
the
that?
most pride comes
I
from.
don't know.
Have you done that?
Hell no.
What? Take your time. What?
No, but
To acknowledge that.
I think I experience it in moments.
Right. In
when
moments. For
Yeah,
sure.
I'm able to do what I want to do. Like when I sit, real talk, when I sit at the beach and watch
Oh.
the water,
You love the beach.
I love the beach.
Love
and
the
anytime
beach.
I get to sit there and just watch the water, I feel like I fucking made it.
Yeah.
dog.
Yeah.
You know
That's
what I mean?
real
And I'll be
feels.
out there all day if you let me. You know what I
Real
mean?
Yeah.
feels.
Just thinking it through, getting real grounded. It's something, people say like when you want to feel more grounded, walk in the grass, walk in
Yes.
nature.
Yes.
And when I walk in the sand, like I
Yeah.
More
feel
grounded.
I feel like woosah.
Yeah.
It gives me something to look forward to. It's just like everything is spinning fast and I could just sit here.
In those moments, you're
Be
putting two
present.
and two together. You're like,
yeah.
okay.
It kind of
That's
makes
a
sense.
blessing.
It's kind of poetic, right?
No, it is.
it
But if you're
is.
present and you're,
Those are
that
my
makes sense.
present moments.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I've been off on islands and like especially just leave my phone in the
Right.
hotel room. I just got one that I might have for pictures
No.
or whatever.
For
But you know what I
Not
mean?
might.
Like,
Yeah.
Not might.
yeah, I do.
You
got
will.
I will get the shot. It's
Yeah.
confirmed. But you know what I mean. I'm not. That ain't a phone that I'm communicating.
Right,
I'm not-
right.
Nobody is texting me on that line, and it's just so I can really have this moment. It should be
Yeah.
lit. So those are the times that I feel like I feel the fruit of my success in
Right.
that moment,
Yeah.
and
sure.
that's to me more of what I look forward to and experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people like material shit.
I
Some
like
people-
auto pay. All the bills is on auto pay.
smooth
It's
sailing.
a flex.
You know,
It's a
no,
flex.
that's a real
It's a
adult
flex.
word.
No, auto
Auto
pay.
pay.
Auto pay. It's on
Auto pay.
Yeah, I was watching.
It's there.
I was watching
Confirmed.
this new show.
Yeah, at the end of the month, I'm like, where did the money go? 'Cause I didn't do it, but
That
it
is
did it.
Facts.
Yeah.
I watched this new show called Love Life on HBO Max. I like just got hip to it. I was on a flight last week and I started watching it and I came home and like, oh, thank God I got HBO Max. But I was watching an episode and they were talking about that. Like that's he made a comment like she was like, oh no, I know this bill's gonna be on autopay, and he was like, damn, big boss.
It also can trick you into overspending. Like it can make you overspend because you know all the bills are on autopay.
Yeah.
If you're not paying attention, so you got to be mindful about it.
Like,
but
the
it
big
is
important ones. Like
it feels
on
great.
autopay.
All mine on every single bill.
You did that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You are.
It's scary.
It's some things
Because it's like, where is the money? Because you're not seeing it. So it trick. You got to be conscious of it and present because you can still fuck yourself.
I can't have on autopay because I don't know how much that shit gonna be. I'd be like, I need to know.
You got to pay it though.
No, I gotta pay it, but I still need to know
you need to see it.
what I'm paying. So for instance, like the electric bill.
But I also have like a avoidance.
Gas bill is gonna be different every single month. I just want to see. I need to look at my bill myself.
Right.
And make
It's
sure
smart.
This shit's
No,
right.
it's real smart.
Yeah. That's about it.
When you got to make a lot of decisions, sometimes you want to take some out of your.
I.e. my meal prep, the uniforms, the auto pay.
That make a lot of sense.
Like
so basically,
no, listen, you need the stress because like right now, I'll avoid my bank account all week.
So
like I'll avoid looking at it.
Somebody the other day, and they randomly brought up the fact that they watched some documentary. I got caught in the hallway at work. They watched some documentary. They watched some documentary, and it basically was saying that like we thrive in a little bit of frustration. Like the brain, when they do like studies on the brain, you would just naturally think your brain would like thrive in a happy, more pleasant, seduced kind of state. Mm-hmm. And so like certain firings and certain triggers happen in the brain. But guess what? The most trigger and the most excitement happen when you're in that little state of frustration and whatever that is.
We talked about that before. Remember, I was like, I like stressful situations. It's creepy, but it's weird. I mean, I thrive better. I'm a better person in like stressful situations.
Yeah,
like I perform the best in stressful situations.
I don't like it. It's not a comfortable space, but because I have been very successful in my procrastination moments, like it didn't lack it,
Yeah. Well, maybe I should define that kind of stress, though.
Yeah.
Maybe not stress, maybe pressure.
Yeah, you like pressure.
Yeah, because stress is not a healthy thing.
Yeah.
So pressure, not stress, but pressure, yeah.
Okay, I get what you're saying, a little pressure, but.
Yeah, pressure, makes diamonds.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I used to feel like that when I was in school. It's like the paper's due tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. I would be up at 5.
But...
Because I can't find
it doesn't feel good. I think the anxiety of it all, it not feeling good. I feel a lot better when I prepare, which is a new thing for me because I am not a preparer. I'm not a planner.
Yeah.
Just recently, and it's been very helpful. I think everything was just so chaotic.
Everything, yeah.
And sometimes you have like decision fatigue. Like I don't need to be making a bunch of decisions all day on top of everything else.
Isn't that so weird? Chaos, stress, pressure, like they're different words, but they mean different things.
Yeah.
Like it's
they're kind of grouped together, but they mean something different.
But it's different. Like
absolutely.
Chaos is like I'm like, okay, stress is stress. Of course, nobody likes stress, but chaos is like, whoa.
Yeah, chaos is
chaos
bad.
Is like the mix.
I'm avoiding all of it if I can.
Yeah, I'm gonna touch it too.
I'm living in so much of it. There's like
it to physically hurt.
Yeah.
It's not okay. Yeah. So basically, entrepreneurship is the long game. Results don't show up like in a rush at all. So
you got to be committed to it.
Yeah. So it just basically has no place for impatience. So just strip yourself, get rid of that bad habit as quickly as possible.
Amen.
So we're going to go to a place of frustration to motivation.
Okay.
The motivation.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So there'll always be days like where you spent like 14 hours straight like doing the thing, and then you like
how did that even happen?
And you're like, why?
Why and how?
Play yourself.
You play yourself. You play yourself.
And does the money really add up?
Yeah. And so like when in the reward, always our time is going to be compensated for, but like the reward of that isn't really showing up.
Yeah, it's like, what's the real cost?
Yeah.
Right.
You're tired. You're missing out on important events like with your friends, your family.
And that's why I say,
Yourself.
does it add up?
But
does
I'm
it
saying,
really add up?
Like,
Right.
it doesn't add up, but like in your conquest, like before you decide to set those boundaries, right? And before you decide to like level up, when you're in that grind mode and you feel like you're building and you're hustling to get where you want to go, it's important to identify your why, right?
Yeah.
So how do you, what is that why for you that in those moments, like
Yeah.
we're I think the three of us personally are at a different space in our businesses. So we set boundaries and we know how to maneuver through this thing differently. But when you're in the trenches and you're like building and you're grinding and you're putting in those hours and doing the extra overtime, when you're identifying that why, like what has been your why?
I mean, I think that why changes. I think initially it was like, it was like a client retention. I'm building a business. I'm building this thing. I need you as a client. I need you to book 2 weeks. So I want to be more accommodating because I have that fear of you not, returning. So that was the initial why. But you have to, that same client, the clients that you really want, they want you to have boundaries. They respect your boundaries. They got boundaries.
They got boundaries.
I never forget
So
that.
they can see that flaw too.
Yeah,
And that can also be a turn off, to that right client that you really do want.
Lack
So,
of confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause that's how it looks.
That's how it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so wild because I had that moment where like I knew I was about to take that January off and
Right.
like
I remember that year.
I was
Right.
communicating that to people
Yeah.
in different ways, and there were some clients like, well, I'm glad you got enough money
Right.
saved to like you making enough where you could take a whole month off. And I'm like, man, what the hell you think going on right here?
Right.
response
What response is that?
Right.
Yeah.
It just
Other than you work so hard, I'm
Yeah.
so glad you're
and
prioritizing
when
yourself.
I got that response,
Yeah.
I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
They were like, good for you.
Yeah.
Some people were like, good for you.
Yeah.
And I was like,
And those
yeah.
are the people.
Those are the people.
Because they have those, like what I think it was last
Yeah.
episode, like about the no, the power of the, no.
Power
Yeah.
to know. Yeah.
You ain't never got no no.
Or just
I mean,
Are you concerned about me as your beauty professional?
Yeah. Like, do you
care
really
about
rock with me?
No.
Or
Like,
does it?
you can take sick days and everything off from your job,
You-
and
yeah.
you get raises from your
Yes.
job.
Yes.
And why am I not afforded the same opportunity? Just
I mean,
because
don't get COVID in 2020.
Right. Don't you
I got some of
dare.
the best clients,
snapped on
and I
me
had
when
an
I got
issue
COVID.
during 2020. I did too.
Somebody snapped on me. Oh, when are you going to be back? Well, I tested positive
Yeah.
for COVID, so whenever I
Like,
don't have COVID,
Please hope I don't.
Which was
die.
shocking because we're like at a different, we
Yeah.
built our
I
business to a
wasn't
different
shocked.
level. I was shocked.
I wasn't shocked with. Yeah, I was shocked with.
I mean, I was shocked.
Yeah, I was shocked.
All right. So yeah, really.
So to answer that, yeah, my why changed.
Yeah.
Initially that why was like to retain these clients. I'm building this business. I need these clients. I need them to book in 2 weeks. So it was like just people pleasing. It was saying yes and getting the client to come back. That has changed. My why has changed to prioritizing myself or whatever, or independent, whatever that is, like
Making this
financial
business
freedom,
work for your
time
life.
freedom, choices, options. It changes.
Yeah. And so like I feel like once you've identified that why, like even in tough times, you kind of push yourself,
Right.
But like, not outside of your boundaries, but like it makes it in those moments where it's not so difficult to show up.
Right.
It's like, what, I know what I'm working towards.
Right.
For everybody that could be different. I think for us three, it could be freedom. We love freedom.
Right.
We want flexibility. We want opportunity
Flexibility,
to explore other opportunities. For many people, it might be like leaving a legacy.
Yeah.
Like you said, a legacy.
Yeah.
And for others, it's just success driven, long term
yeah.
family.
Maybe you got
security.
babies. It changes.
Yeah.
And desire. Some people really desire to change the world.
Oh,
and,
absolutely.
have an impact on like society in
Yeah.
certain
Yeah.
ways. So this can be what you want it to be. Once you found your motivation, those long days don't feel so bad anymore. And each day is another gift to achieve what you're setting out to.
For sure.
And
So
those long, you realize at some point those long days don't have to be so long.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
once you gain that confidence
Yeah.
and you build that trust with your people and within yourself,
Yeah.
and like just always like I think the meat of this is just knowing that like you're not alone in this. These
Yeah.
are all processes that we've gone through,
And trust the process, because this level is going to take you to the next.
Yes.
The next going to take you to the next, and
Yes.
so forth.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes. And that's what I see a lot of times. And not to say that you can't explore a lot of avenues to find what works for
Right.
you, but when you see people kind of flip flopping, like
Oh, yeah.
sometimes it's like they don't trust
they're
the process.
right.
Like
They're
you
not
said,
getting to that uncomfortable point
Right.
Yes.
before they shift.
before
Yeah.
they shift. They don't
Yeah.
even allow
They
the
give
process.
up before they even get to that breaking point.
Man.
Yeah.
Man, I had I know somebody that took a training and like realistically in 1 month called me back and was like, I don't know if this for me. Like this. Like I just built my business in 1 month, and when I had conversation with that particular person, I'm like, yo, I told you it took me like 8 to 9 months to even get comfortable holding my tweezers.
Yeah.
Right.
What make you think you finna not
Yeah.
go through these?
And I think that's the difference with like being the intro education for
Yeah.
someone
Yes.
versus being like the advanced
elevated
education.
advanced.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
a person that's already in the industry, they're gonna take that advanced training and run with it. It's like
Oh,
being that
shit.
intro. It's like they didn't really invest.
Exactly.
Even with the highest prices, like
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
it's a 2-day class, it's whatever. The investment's just not there.
And that is one thing that you have to be you have to be invested in these things. So because how would people want to invest in
Right.
you? Like you
Right.
literally get back what you put
Absolutely.
out. If you're not willing to invest, like you can't. Just,
And it almost seems like a no-brainer, especially with lashes.
It
It's
seems like a no-brainer. But
you know what I mean? Like if you can learn to do this and make this,
yes, like why wouldn't
but
you?
it's intimidating. It's like I think people think they're going to be great at it. They think it's easy. They underestimate the
But
skill set.
even like in your quest, like you've invested in the initial training you're working, but like reinvest in somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
Stop DMing people and asking
Right.
them to be your mentor. Book their class.
And you know what?
can't
Some of
believe
that is
we're
just
still doing
being
that in
it's being marketed to
2022
them
though.
that way.
Yeah.
It's like if something's being marketed to you that way, that's how your lash artist is running her business.
Yeah.
That's how your hairstylist is running her business. So maybe that's just how you see it. But
I guess
you
so.
know, you gotta know better to do better.
You
guess,
gotta
sometimes.
know better to do better. And I think the biggest lesson that I learned very early is just to invest in people's time.
Yeah.
If I
And it can't be a money
Yeah,
grab.
but also too,
You gotta do the
mentorship
work.
should be
You gotta
developed.
do the
Though.
work.
Yeah.
Mentorship should be developed.
Yeah.
So I can see if somebody does have a paid mentorship program, mentoring program or whatever it could be. But is that really a mentor though?
No, but I'm talking about like not necessarily like those programs and all
Yeah.
of that stuff. But if somebody you admire is running a business a certain way,
Yeah.
you see them in a certain light on social media, not necessarily marketed.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Not
Yeah.
necessarily marketed that way. If there is something that you like about them, invest in their time.
Paid
Yeah.
to play.
Paid
And you're not paying for a mentor. We pay for
No.
education.
We pay for
We believed in our
Right.
girl, and
Yeah.
it's like we paying to play.
We
Right.
paying to play. I
Period.
wanna ask,
Twice.
I wanna
2
be
times, 3
2
times, whatever it
times.
takes.
I need how many every time.
It has
that-
paid off
tremendously.
Yeah.
Just to be able to share space and ask.
because it's like
the
as busy
questions
as
that
you
I-
are. Why else would I give you my time? You don't even believe in my education. I'm offering you access to me.
Say that.
Yes.
Say that.
Come get this
that's all
training.
Come get
Yeah.
the training that opens you up to an open line of
Right.
communication
Yeah.
with me.
And building
Yeah.
relationships in the industry that you're in.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. So avoiding that investment altogether is gonna hinder you so much more. Like we said, entrepreneurship is a long haul. It's not built for the week
For the
or the
week.
faint
At all.
at heart.
Yeah.
You gonna get out of it what you put into it. So
1000%.
like really decide and do something that you love so you can stick behind it and stay with it. All in all, entrepreneurship isn't for everyone. The good news is that if you're willing to look for solutions, you will be able to understand lows have upswings, and entrepreneurship can lead you to the life you dreamt of.
For sure.
Say that.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you
That
guys
was
for deep diving with me.
That was awesome.
All right.
Hey girl, thanks for listening. But before you go, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. See you next time.